out of lane 4, Marist out of lane 5, and Navy lane 6.
Yep, so we'll be seeing two great semifinals of the varsity fours coming down here just shortly, and waiting for these results. It's going to be interesting to see Stanford or UC San Diego, which one?
It was Stanford over the University of California, San Diego. So it was Wisconsin in first, 5:53.2. Oregon State second, 5:54.5. Stanford, a job well done and a race rode very well to capture third with a time of 5:58.2. Then it was the University of California, San Diego, 5:58.3. A great sprint from them and a great start. They really got off the line quickly, but Stanford was able to edge them. Then in fifth, George Washington with a time of 6:05.2.
All right, so we're back up. You can see the start line. We've got the varsity fours set up here. So different race category than what we just saw. We got the Wisconsin Badgers rolling by the beach right now. Nice race by Wisconsin for the win in the semifinal number 4 of the second varsity. But the camera view, we got the drone up high looking down at the start platform for that first semifinal of the varsity fours. You got the Huskies there in lane number 1. Stetson in 2, Boston University 3, the other team from Boston, MIT in 4, Marist in 5, and the Naval Academy in 6. We have a start. So the Huskies from Washington have been a powerhouse in this varsity 4 event. A lot of national championships won in the heavyweight varsity 4 with Coxon for Washington. So we'll see what they can do this morning, and it looks like we've got an aggressive start there from lane number 1. Very tightly packed here amongst the field, but Washington with just a little bit more pop in the first 5 strokes to take a couple seats lead over the field. So semifinal number 1, Washington 1, Stetson in their first time here at the IRA, trying to make their way into a grand final. From lane number 2, Boston University in 3, MIT in the red shell in lane number 4, Marist in 5, and in the other part of the screen is the Naval Academy. So there's the Huskies. You can see in lane number 1. Top to the drone again. Let's take a look here. So we've got a view across the field, kind of panning across there in the white jerseys on the right-hand side of the screen. There's the Huskies in the green. Stetson is right next to them in lane 2 with BU in 3 in our picture right now. So we're going to take a look from the launch here. Look at that launch is ahead of the crews, looking back at it, so it's tougher to tell margins. But Washington looked like they had that great start. I think that Washington has got the lead. Some great athletes for this Washington varsity 4 here. So we've taken a look down at the lineup. The Huskies rowing in the Lou Gellerman shell. The Huskies, famous stadium announcer for the University of Washington for the home football game. So the Lou Gellerman, he'd be proud to see his boat up in the lead. Huskies ahead of lane number 2. MIT putting on a little heat towards their neighbors from Boston. So it's Washington in lead. Stetson doing a fantastic job at their first IRA here in 2. We've got 3 and 4. You can see those bow markers just taking turns, surging back and forth. Lanes 3 and 4, very close. Washington on the lead. Fred, let's head out to the launch. How's things looking?
Smooth sailing here from the launch. The Huskies definitely a full length up on Stetson, but as you say, nice performance by Stetson. Then it's a really good battle between MIT and Boston University. MIT bringing a group out, and they're toe-to-toe with BU. And then it's back almost a full length over to Marist and Navy. Marist has a couple seats up on the Academy. So BU was patient yesterday. Let's see if they're just going to hold off and go step for step here with MIT, or whether MIT is going to get a little bit more distance between themselves. I don't think the BU Coxon likes being behind there. He's taking a quick look. But MIT definitely got their red bow in front now in that third qualifying spot. They're a seat up on the Terriers. Washington with a little open water over Stetson. And BU now, or I'm sorry, MIT taking a nice Press right here has gained 2 seats over BU. And I would say that lane 5 over here, Marist has taken a good move as well. So Marist coming up on BU, only about 4 seats back at BU. Naval Academy running in 6th, about 5 seats back of Marist. Washington all by themselves, way out front, open water. But a good thump here by MIT. BU is going to have to answer it here in the third 500. I think I see BU coming back on MIT a little bit here. I don't want to let them get going too far. Marist trying to get back into that race as well. BU working their way back. Bow seat of BU on the 2 seat now of MIT. So it's just a question of horsepower and strategy here. I'd say we'll do a rating check, but I think they're both rowing right around 35, 34, 35. And can BU challenge? You've got 550 meters to go. There's only a deck separating MIT and BU right now. 35 going to 36. Those 4 whizs. MIT can hold them off. MIT's got a seat now on BU. So MIT shifted and said it's time to go. So these two don't face each other on the Charles, but their boathouses are about 500 meters apart, maybe a little bit more than that. And let's see who wants it. Boston University, do you want it? Now they're coming up level again. So great race between the Engineers and BU. Let's see, I'll toss it over to the 10. Now MIT shifted up. Wow, here it comes.
Yeah, this is looking like a serious battle here.
Good
So
race.
you got Stetson there in the 2nd place position, but these 2 that are in 3rd and 4th are really gunning for it. And can they catch Stetson? I'm not sure about that, but MIT with a bite to the water there. You can see them kicking, trying to get that bow, making sure that they get ahead of BU. But what a race between these 2 for a qualifying spot into the grand final to contend for a national championship in this event. But there's Washington on the lead in lane number 1. You can see the white blades, the white tops, Washington Huskies in the white pocock shell in lane number 1 with good power and performance by the Huskies. Washington up front, but there's BU and MIT in lanes 3 and 4. What a fight with Stetson. They're coming back on
Wow.
Stetson too. So we've got 3 boats for 2 spots. Wow, Stetson, Boston University, and MIT right there in a pack. I think it's very close to call. I think that MIT and Boston University both really drove into that Stetson lead. I think Stetson, and then we'll have to see between those other 2 who was the qualifier, but a close race between those 3 crews with 2 spots remaining after Washington's win. So great race in semifinal number 1 of the men's varsity 4. Marist and Navy in your 5th and 6th place positions. Those 2 will be going to the petite final.
Wow.
Washington clearly ahead, and they will be moving on to the grand final there. So a good effort from Washington Huskies. Boston University, what a try to just get up there and get their bow into the mix there. And those 2 crews, just the effort being driven between Boston University and MIT, were just forcing those 2 to really make up ground on Stetson there in the last 500. And Stetson did a good job to respond. Nice work there, and I think that they will be moving into that grand final. We have to go and check these race results, though, because between those 3 boats, I think we were definitely less than a second separating them, probably less than a half